This is the video for Tuesday, March 9th. Before watching this video, make sure that you did the first one, which was yesterday from Monday, March 8th, either being in class or watching the video. That's important because those things that we did yesterday, we ended up choosing a car, choosing a make and model of a vehicle that we're going to buy, and you can't do today's lesson without first doing yesterday's lesson. So if you haven't already, do yesterday's lesson first. But if you have, if you're still watching this video, after your research, which car did you end up choosing, and why did you pick that car? And were you surprised by the car that you picked? So pause the video so that you can answer that question in your notes. Now, yesterday we talked about a $5,000 down payment. And so my question to you is, what if your car costs more than the $5,000 that you have saved? Well, aside from the obvious answer that you could just find a new car that costs $5,000 or less, maybe that is the financially responsible thing to do. Another option is that the additional cost of the vehicle can be financed. Okay. Financing a vehicle is receiving a loan for the remaining cost of the vehicle. So in the blank here in your notes, what if the car costs more than $5,000 you have saved? What can you think to do? You could write that either you buy a cheaper car or you borrow the money for the rest, that's what financing is. So you finance the rest from one of a few different places. So who might give you a loan for your car? Answer in the space provided. And for this case, let's assume that you're not borrowing money from your parents. That's always an easy answer, but in this case, we're not going to be able to do that. Who could give you a loan for a car? I can think of two places. One is a bank, and the other is the car dealership. Now, if you're talking about cash advance loans and payday lenders and places like that, we're just going to stay away from those altogether. We're going to stick to a bank or the car dealership. Now, out of these two, there's different advantages to each. The car dealership is far and away the more convenient option. It is much more convenient to buy a car, to get financing from a car dealership, because you just walk in and you give them your social security number and they will come out with paperwork for you to sign, and that's it. There's nothing very difficult like that. So that's one option. But car dealership loans are far more expensive than bank loans. From a bank, you're looking at 3 to 5%, generally speaking, depending on who you are, but 3 to 5%. And in a car dealership, you could be looking at 10, 15, even 20% for a car loan. And those numbers might not seem very high, but we're talking about thousands of dollars depending on the price of the vehicle, or could be even tens of thousands of dollars depending on the price of the vehicle. So going to a bank is always a better option here. So here's what you're going to do. Now that you've figured out the make and the model of the vehicle, find the purchase price. How much will you need to buy? How much will you need to borrow? So I want you to go online. You can go to websites like autotrader.com or US News and World Report, all kinds of different places. And I want you to find a vehicle. Now, because yesterday I told you that you need to keep it around $21,000, you're probably not finding many new cars for that. So you're looking for used vehicles in that range. And you need to figure out how much you need to borrow. So in your notes, it says, what is the price of the vehicle? You're going to put that right there based on the vehicle that you find. And then how much will you need to borrow? So all you're going to do here is, let's say you find a vehicle for $20,000 and you have $5,000 as a down payment. That means that you have to borrow $15,000. Pretty simple. So if in step one, if your blank is $20,000 and you have $5,000 to put down, you need to borrow $15,000. And that $15,000 is what you're going to use for the rest of this. So step 4 says calculate your monthly payment and total amount paid. Your monthly payment is your principal divided by the number of months in your loan term, then multiplied by your interest rate. Next, multiply the monthly payment by the loan term to determine the total amount paid. Record your monthly payments in the final amounts paid in the chart below. Okay, it's actually pretty simple here. So you are going to take your loan principal, which in this case was $15,000, and over 36 month monthly payment, you're going to get your monthly payment in total paid. Okay, so we're going to take our 15,000, which is in this case what we decided our loan principal was going to be, and we are going to divide that by the 36 months. So if we paid no interest, we would pay this $15,000 off in 36 months at a rate of $416.67 per month. Now we have to add in interest. Okay, so we're going to multiply times 0.0675. Make sure you get that decimal point right. This is 6.75% is 0.0675. And that means every month we're going to be paying on average $28.12.5 interest. So now we have to add that 416.67, this number right here, which is what we paid as we were paying $1,500 off in 36 months. So times 416.67 equals, all right, so that's the number. Oh, I did something wrong. Oh, is going to be plus 416. So I'll go backwards and do all that again. So you can see 15,000 divided by 36 months equals 416.67. And now I'm going to do times 0.0675 equals, okay, now I'm going to add 416.67, not multiply, plus 416.67 equals 444.79. So we're going to say 444.80. I'm going to put that right here. And then the total paid is just going to be this new number, 444.80 times 36 months. So times 36, which is the monthly payment times the months paid, equals $16,012.62. Okay, 16,012. Now, you'll notice that your loan principal is 15,000 and your total paid is 16,000. So the bank, in this case, or maybe the car dealership, depending on where you got this loan, the car dealership is going to be charging you $1,000 for the privilege of paying it off over 36 months, which is 3 years. Okay, and this is also a very high rate. So this is somebody who goes in to the car dealership and doesn't have good credit, gets their car loan from the dealership, and they're going to pay it off over 3 years. It's going to cost them $1,000 to do that over those 3 years. Okay. You can do scenario 2 and scenario 3 on your own. Just remember, you take your loan principal, which is in this case going to be the same in every box. And so on. And your loan term, you're going to divide principal divided by loan term, and then you're going to say times 0.0475, and then add whatever you get to the original $15,000 divided by 48. I'll do one more for you, make it maybe a little easier for you so you can see. And this is with my numbers. You should have your own numbers. We shouldn't be all doing 15,000. 15,000 was what I used when I found my purchase price, which was $20,000, and then subtracted the down payment that I had. But here's 15,000 divided by 48 months equals 312.50 times 4.75. Actually, times 0.0475. Okay, equals, and 1484, and now I'm going to add 312.50 and my monthly payment here is $327.34. And then I'm going to multiply that $327.34 times 48 months. 15,712.50. Okay. So in this case, I'm getting the same loan as scenario one, and I'm paying it off over more time, and it's less money. It's about $300 less. So this one's obviously better, and you can figure that because the interest rate is better too. That extra 2% and paid off over more time is saving me $300. So do that with the 48 and then come up with your own. The best way to come up with your own is, if you can, to research car loans online. Maybe you want to go, Bank of America auto loan, and you want to find auto loan rates, Bank of America. So here's 60 months, new car. You can't get the new car one probably because you're using a used car. So right here, 2.69%. And so, 2.69%, you can come in here and put that here, 2.69%. And that was over 60 months. And go ahead and do your math there. This one's going to be way better than any of these. Well, we'll see. We'll see if it ends up being better. And then which loan makes the most sense for you? Which do you think is the best option and why? And then is it always better to choose the loan with the lowest interest rate? Why or why not? I don't have an answer to either of those questions for you. I want you to do that on your own. And I want you, and I want you to make sure you answer those questions. Okay.